getting a much-needed win?
Well, it was a hard-earned win. It was a really physical game, and I've played at Mikey Stadium several times and had some good wins there. Had some really tough losses. Really tough place to play, and I was proud of our kids. I thought, especially in the second half, they reached down and got a win, and it's certainly good for us mentally.
The extra work that you guys had them put in practice last week, pretty much paid off. Is that going to be the plan moving forward, especially with the schedule going into the ACC mode now?
Well, we're looking at different ways to teach our kids. As coaches, we're just teachers. So, some kids learn in the classroom, some kids learn on the field. It seemed like we got a little bit more bang for our buck by working more on the field.
The defense probably arguably had their best performance of the year. Would you agree with that? Maybe talk about their performance against Army, especially holding them to no touchdowns and going up against a triple option offense?
Well, I think going against a triple option was really tough for our guys. It was a really physical game. We got a lot of guys banged up right now after playing that one. Army's a very tough, hard-nosed, physical football team. And, we played somewhat of a one-dimensional team, a team that's primarily a running football team, so that let us hone in on that a little bit. But as you know, the past few years that we've played wishbone teams, we haven't fared very well defensively, so it was good to get a great defensive effort.
Having a career game. Maybe talk about his performance and how that filters out and helps out the rest of the defense as far as the linebackers and the defensive backs when he performs on that type of level.
Well, they're such an inside run team. They really like to get the fullback involved. They like counter dives and misdirection plays between the tackles. And so having Nikita in there really helped. But I thought all of our guys up front, really played physical football and chased the ball well. And then from a secondary perspective, they had to fit the run pretty good themselves. So I thought it was a really great defensive effort. It was a game that you would expect Nikita to make some plays in, and he probably exceeded our expectations, but thought he played great. But I thought the rest of the guys rallied around it pretty good too.
As far as the offense got off to a slow start in that first half, but they were able to pull it together, had 2 consecutive drives, touchdowns, pretty much put the game out of reach. What was the difference after halftime as far as getting that offense rolling the way they did?
Well, I thought, to Army's credit, when we started the game, we felt like we had some things that would be really good for us, but they changed their defensive scheme a little bit. They closed the tackles down and played them more over our guards, and it really gave us some problems from what we decided to go into the game with. So at halftime, I thought Jonathan Heimbach, our O-line coach, and Lobo did a nice job of adjusting our blocking scheme so that we were picking more people up off the backside and had some really nice cutback lanes, and I thought that really helped us in the second half.
Yeah, what did that do for the confidence of the offensive line, especially the way they were opening up those holes for Josh to succeed?
Well, I think it was great for our O-line to have some success running the football. I do think that, Josh Harris kind of found himself a little bit. He's been a little rusty in the first few games. I thought he really made some nice cuts, did a nice job being physical when there wasn't a lot there. Hopefully he can build on that, but it was certainly nice to see the offensive line come off the ball, especially in the second half.
Those back-to-back possessions where you guys got the touchdowns to put the game out of reach, excuse me, was that the most consistent you've seen this offense this year, including the Presbyterian game?
I thought it was probably the most consistent the offense has been, but I thought it was probably the most patient that our coaches have been. I thought our offensive coaches did a nice job of settling into the run and give Army credit. I thought they did some really good things to us in the throw game. They pressured us good. They had pretty good coverage. We probably missed 2 or 3 opportunities in the throw game, but when it got to be crunch time, I thought that the players played physical football, and I thought our coaches showed some patience.
Now we're moving on to Clemson, and I asked some of the players, about that performance 2 years ago in Death Valley. Last time that you guys were there, field goal away from, contending for an ACC championship. Camp was the one who said that they have been talking about that as far as, filtering down that experience that they gained from that to the younger guys and, how close they came to pulling off the upset then. Nikita, though, he was kind of like, I'm tired of hearing about that. I don't want to talk about that. It was 2 years ago, this, that, and the third. What's your feelings as far as, what you guys were able to pull off there 2 years ago, and if you're using that, going into this weekend?
Well, we had a chance a couple years ago and didn't get it done. So I think, we know going down there is tough. We haven't, since I've been here, we haven't beaten Clemson in Death Valley. And this is probably a year that is as tough a year to beat them as any year I've been here. They're as talented, possibly as any team in the country and very well coached. And so it'll take a great effort on our part. We've had some great games down there. They've worn us out a couple times. So we really have to go down there focused. We're going to have to play for 4 quarters at a high level to have a chance. But this is probably the best Clemson team we've played since I've been here.
Yeah, and speaking on top of that, they have so many weapons on the offensive side of the ball. Sammy, Taj, and now Martavis just had a breakout game at NC State on Thursday. How do you put your focus on one particular thing when they have so many options on that side of the ball?
Well, that's the problem. They do a nice job running the football, and anytime your quarterback's as good a runner as Taj Boyd, it really puts pressure on your linebackers, and their play-action pass game's fantastic because of all the ability to run the football, and then they've got, of course, some big-time players to go get the football when Taj throws it. So I think the thing that people don't realize, though, is how talented they are defensively. They're very talented on offense, but we spent a lot of time watching them defensively, and their talent is matched on defense. They're just a special football team from a talent standpoint, and they're very, very well coached.
As far as Taj, though, he's kind of like the head that makes everything go or whatever. Maybe talk about what the defense has to do to kind of rally him, put some pressure on him.
Well, I think you're talking about a quarterback that's got lots of experience. He has been around for a while now. He's got the talent, of course. He's a big guy, runs the football very effectively, and has a really nice arm strength, can throw it down the field, has good touch on his passes. And I think the only thing that you got to try to do is kind of try not to give up too many big plays and try to give him some different looks from time to time and hope that once in a while he can make a mistake. He doesn't make many. When you watch him, he's been there. He's seen every coverage, every front, about everything known to man that you could throw at him he's seen. So he's an experienced quarterback. He's going to make some plays. Clemson's going to make some plays. Hopefully we can keep a lot of them in front of us and make them earn what they get.
Talk about what that atmosphere is like at Clemson, and even though you're on the other side, do you think it's pretty cool, him running down the hill and everybody in orange? I mean, what's that like there?
Yeah, there are a lot of great traditions in the ACC. I think that's one of them. I always think it's fun to be at Florida State. They have great tradition at the start of the game, and so it's fun to be in those environments. But I think the key is staying focused on playing football. That's the hardest thing. A lot of times when you play in stadiums that are going to put 83,000 plus in there, and they're not many of them are for the Deeks. It's really hard to focus. So I think it's nice to be in that environment. It's exciting, but it's really possibly a distraction. So especially your young players have to really focus on playing football.
Paint a picture of what it was like in the locker room after the Army win, and as a college football coach, what's it like to watch your team celebrate, knowing what you have to go through to win a college football game, and the highs are so high and the lows are so low when you don't?
Well, it's hard to win any game at this level. At this level, all teams have a lot of talent. So any time that you win a game, unless you're spoiled and you win most of them, for us, we have to earn every win we get. So when we do, win a game, I think not only are you really, really excited, but you're really, really relieved. And that's what I really sensed in our locker room. I sensed our players had a great sense of accomplishment. We'd gone on the road in a tough place to play against a tough physical football team and won a game, but probably as much as anything was relief. I think there was a lot of pressure on our players to go win. We certainly didn't want to head to Death Valley 1-3, and so that win was pretty special to all of us, but probably a greater sense of relief than just being overjoyed.
Coach, talking about, last week was a triple option team. This week you're going against a team that has a totally different style of offense. They want to get the ball in the hands of their playmakers as quickly as possible. So how much of an added challenge is that in the fact that you went from, okay, we got to be disciplined in stopping a power run game, and now we're focusing on speed, and trying to defend that?
Yeah, it's a good point. We were talking about it. This is going into our 5th game. This is the 5th offense we've seen, and all of them are drastically different. So for our defense, it's really a tough preparation trying to change gears from a triple option attack to get ready for Clemson. But in our first 5 games, we haven't seen one offense that's been similar. So it's a challenge for the defense. But we've got some older guys on defense. So if you wanted to get a group of guys ready to play, you'd hope that the older guys can handle it a little better than most.
How do you try to simulate that speed in practice, or can you?
You can't do it. It's very similar to last week for Army. We could not simulate triple option the way they run it. You can't really get ready for Clemson other than hopefully starting fast down there. You know, when you get there, you got to hopefully start fast in the first quarter, and as you go through the game, kind of get used to the speed. But some of these guys that look really, really fast on video are faster in person, and it's hard to replicate that. Now, we'll go good against good some in practice, and I think our starters and some of our guys that'll play a lot down at Death Valley will challenge each other. But, Sammy Watkins and those guys are pretty special players, so it'll be a little bit different when we get down there.